3 plus 1. That's a pretty simple equation. But today, I want to take a few minutes and show you that it adds up to a lot more than you'd imagine. At Elastic, we believe that all of us are searching for something. Why we search remains constant. We are looking for insight, information, and answers. Why we search may remain constant, but how and what we search is changing continuously. Whether that's due to new types of data, such as geospatial, or simply due to the ever-increasing torrential flow of data that we deal with. The Elastic Stack is the foundation for everything we do. We allow you to bring all your data into one place or distribute it regionally for global scale. Either way, you can explore to get relevant answers at the speed of thought and at any scale. And speaking of scale, with the amount of data we deal with these days, sometimes you need help to know where to look or an alert where your attention is needed. So we've built advanced AI capabilities such as anomaly detection and text categorization into the Elastic Stack. The Elastic Stack has been engineered from the ground up to be the best foundation for building search-powered solutions. It's the plus one that powers and amplifies our solutions. Today, we're going to show you 3 solutions that we've built on the Elastic Stack that will allow teams of all types to gain insights and understanding more efficiently than ever before. These solutions will empower all of your teams to achieve their goals. Whether you're a knowledge worker searching for content for your next meeting or an application developer building a rich search experience for your customers, our enterprise search solution is designed to simplify your life by letting us do the heavy lifting to create a compelling search experience. Perhaps you're a site reliability engineer responsible for the health and performance of mission-critical applications, living in a world of ever-increasing complexity. Inevitably, when things go wrong, our observability solution is designed with the intent to drive mean time to resolution down to 0. Or maybe you're a member of the information security team, trying to stay ahead of not only more and more data, but also increasingly sophisticated attackers. Our security solution will arm every analyst on the team to prevent, protect, and hunt for threats. Our goal for you is to eliminate all blind spots. These are all very different roles, and our solutions have been tailored to those roles, but they are all driven by the Elastic Stack. Let's take a look at the art of the possible and see how Hipster is using Elastic solutions to empower their teams and ultimately their business. First, they're using Workplace Search, part of the Enterprise Search solution, to make it easy for anyone in the business to find information relevant to their team and role. The application development team has used App Search, also part of the Enterprise Search solution, to build a great search experience for their customers. Hipster is collecting logs, metrics, and APM tracing from all of their systems and sending that data into a centralized Elasticsearch cluster that is used by both the security team and the SRE team, since much of that data is relevant to both of them. The two teams can share data as needed without worrying about stepping on each other's toes because the Elastic Stack lets them create independent workspaces tailored to each team's needs. Finally, Hipster sales and marketing teams are collecting business data for advanced analytics, as well as creating eye-catching presentations with live data instead of printing reports, so that the executive team always has a real-time view of the business. By the way, even though Hipster has deployed the SRE cluster in the cloud and the business cluster lives on-prem, the Elastic Stack allows the SRE team to query across clusters to pull in business data so that they have a single view that shows not only the health of their systems, but the sentiment of their customers. Now let's see how some of Hipster's teams are using Elastic solutions in action. First, we'll consider our knowledge workers, which, by the way, probably includes almost all of us today. According to McKinsey, the average person spends 108 minutes a day looking for content. Because we spend so much time searching, we've all become search experts in that we expect a great experience at home as well as at work. This is Workplace Search, and you can quickly see that it provides a state-of-the-art search experience. As Sally in marketing searches for the latest email marketing PDFs, she gets query suggestions from her search history. Fast results from a variety of sources with relevancy ranked across all those sources. Workplace Search has recognized the string PDFs as a keyword and specifically filtered Sally's results to just PDFs, although she can certainly expand the results if need be. And there's a nice details card for each result that sometimes might be all you need to find an answer without even opening the document. We'll see how other teams at Hipster rely on Workplace Search in a bit. Workplace Search also makes the administrator's life easier. Emilio runs Workplace Search at Hipster, and he's gotten a request from the SRE team to boost the results from GitHub. With Workplace Search, we've made it this easy. While we're on the topic of Elastic's Enterprise Search, let's see what our front-end developer team has been up to. They were recently tasked with creating an easy-to-use self-support application for Hipster's customers. Search is a key component. In the past, it might take a development team weeks or months to create something like this, but with App Search, the developers had it up and running much more quickly. Imagine a customer comes to a website trying to solve an issue with resetting their password. That's something they urgently need to solve, and if they can't, we know it creates customer dissatisfaction. Notice that with App Search, the development team was able to create a great user experience with features such as typo tolerance and autocomplete. Next, let's drop in on the Hipster SecOps team. Here we're looking at the Elastic SIEM, a user interface within Kibana specifically designed to enable security analysts at all levels, from endpoint protection teams to tier 1, 2, or 3 analysts. We want to make sure that the entire security organization has the tools they need to prevent threats or hunt them down. On the overview page, we again bring this team an immediate view of what they need to focus on, whether it's active cases that are being managed, timeline investigations, and we'll take a closer look at those in a second, or the latest news published by Elastic Security Research Team. What's immediately apparent, however, is that our signals view and external alerts view have picked up on something. Signals represent events that have been detected within Elastic. For example, detection rules that have fired or alerts for anomalies or rare processes. External alerts emanate from outside the SIEM, things in your environment such as malware alerts or endpoint protection alerts. In this case, it looks like our Elastic Endpoint Protection has also detected something and created an alert in the SIEM. Let's take a look at the detections page and see what's going on here. We see that several different rules have fired. If we take a closer look at these, we can see a lot more detail about the rules that have fired. The Elastic SIEM comes pre-configured with a large collection of detection rules, anomaly and outlier detection jobs, all ready for you to use. As with our other solutions, we're leveraging the power of the Elastic Stack to guide you to things that need your attention. The rules are mapped to the MITRE ATT&CK framework, and we even link to the MITRE website if you want to learn more. This is useful for a Tier 1 analyst, possibly fresh out of college, learning more about this technique. Again, we want to arm every analyst on your team with a consistent set of powerful tools. Zooming out, we can clearly see that something has happened on this particular machine, and this user, James, clearly is doing something suspicious. Here's where that timeline I mentioned earlier comes into play. I can simply drag this user to the timeline and instantly use the power of Elasticsearch query capability to filter on James's activity. You don't even need to know anything about Elastic's query language. We've made it drag and drop simple. Based on the rules that fired, we may be dealing with a possible PowerShell exploit, and we can quickly see that it was used to start something called WScript. We can drag that into the timeline query builder to further refine the query and to see where else the script has been run. From here, we can save this query and use it to create a new detection rule that would alert us on Slack or PagerDuty or one of our other out-of-the-box third-party integrations when James runs WScript again. In this case, things look suspicious enough that we should pass this timeline investigation off to Alyssa, one of the more senior analysts on the Tier 2 team. Alyssa can start with this initial timeline and widen the net of her investigation to try and understand what led to the initial detection engine and endpoint alerts, and further investigate our suspicious user James. Since she's expanding the investigation, she'll also create a case in the Elastic SIEM that can be linked to ServiceNow, which the SecOps team is already using. As with other teams at Hipster, SecOps relies on workplace search to have relevant information at their fingertips. Alyssa can quickly find the security knowledge base articles she needs to guide her next steps in this investigation. Finally, let's go visit John and the site reliability team. In today's information-driven world, every business has mission-critical applications that absolutely need to be up and running, and just as importantly, running well. We all know how impatient we've become searching the internet. If we don't get immediate answers, we'll just go someplace else. After all, your competitor is just a tab away in your customer's browser. Like many retail shops today, Hipster has gone all in on containers, microservices, and orchestration with Kubernetes. Oh, and they're cloud native too, so they've deployed this application in the cloud. While this architecture allows their teams to effectively use whatever technology meets their needs and to be extremely agile and deploy code on a daily or even hourly basis, those benefits come at a price of a lot more complexity, more things to monitor and watch, and ultimately a lot more data. The Elastic Observability solution allows the Hipster team to bring all of that telemetry from their applications and cloud infrastructure into one place. Logs, metrics, APM trace information, and even service endpoint geographic uptime, so they can follow any user's journey through their shopping experience. As I mentioned, the SRE team is not only watching the health of their applications, but also keeping an eye on their user's experience. They're able to search across clusters to bring in business data so they can correlate a user's experience with issues when they occur. In the spirit of cooperation across teams, Alyssa from SecOps has given the SRE team a heads up about the case that they're actively investigating, just in case they notice any unusual system performance problems while she continues her analysis. John on the SRE team has just gotten a Slack message indicating that one of the services in Hipster's online store is running slower than normal. Could it be related to Alyssa's active case? Let's find out. We can see that something is going on with the advert service. The Elastic Stack has detected a performance anomaly. Transactions are taking much longer than usual. The Hipster team no longer needs to guess at thresholds to generate alerts. Elastic's anomaly detection alerts them only when something is outside the norm and needs their attention. With the tight linkages between Elastic Solutions and the Elastic Stack, the machine learning alert in Slack takes us right to the APM service map in Kibana, so we can immediately see that the advert service, which is apparently having issues, is actually causing upstream problems for the front-end service. That means that customers are almost certainly seeing this issue. From here, we can take a deeper dive into the advert service, or maybe we want to explore other anomalies to see if they might shed some more light on the problem. In this case, we already have an inkling that the advert service is at fault, so we'll drill down for a closer look to see if we can find the answer quickly. Elastic APM has automatically annotated this trace to show me that a new version, 1.7, has recently been deployed. While the DevOps team and the SRE team work well together, sometimes things slip through the cracks, and here again, Elastic Observability helps point you in the right direction. From the APM view, we can quickly pivot to take a look at the log files for the advert service. Again, notice that we didn't have to go hunting around on servers for this log file. Elastic Observability keeps me focused on the problem by correlating the timeline across each view. John's pivoted to the Elastic Logs UI, looking at the logging events emitted by the problematic advert service, right at the same point in time that the performance anomaly was detected. It's pretty apparent that something is happening with the advert service caching mechanism. There are continuous cache misses, and that almost certainly means memory problems. Even though we've collected millions of logging events for just this single service, we can instantly search for something like a heap space issue using Elasticsearch, and yep, sure enough, this service ran out of memory and has been restarting. Almost certainly, this problem was introduced by that new version 1.7 that was just deployed. As a next step, John might now use Workplace Search to look through GitHub to find out more details about that advert service that was just deployed to learn more. So, back to 3+1. 3 solutions powered by the Elastic Stack. Elastic Enterprise Search, Observability and security are amazing solutions in their own right, but they're amplified by the power of the leading search engine on the planet. I've shown you how Elastic can enable all of your teams to be more productive, and ultimately that translates into value for your entire business. Thanks for your time. We're Elastic, for search.